go from there. Having a good weekend so far?
So far, so good. We did like an escape room last night.
Oh yeah, just your family or?
Yeah, just the four of us. We did pretty good. Had some great investigative puzzle solving going on from everybody, so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, the kids enjoy it or no?
Yeah, but they tend to get uh kind of bored quick, so we have to kind of keep them on task and go do this or go do that kind of a thing so that they don't just sit on the couch and watch us do it. Riker kept going back over the piano because there was a piano in there, and he'd start playing on the keys, and I'm like, it's super loud because he's like slamming on the keys and whatnot.
Yeah, shush.
So I had to kind of get him doing something so that he'd leave it alone.
Enough. Yeah, no. Yeah, we went down to Ottawa yesterday and did a whole bunch of shopping. I just decided that I was going to sign up for some photos for the family,
Mm-hmm.
and then which meant it had to spark Ash to go get clothes for everybody too. So we spent the afternoon in the mall getting clothes for everybody. We got a couple of costumes. The kids picked out their Halloween costumes, so that's one positive at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
But
Got that out of the way.
yeah, two out of three are done. The other ones are gonna have to be ordered, I think, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. But a fairly busy weekend. I'm glad we're kind of slowing down now. The kids are at a friend's house playing, so I get to chill out. We get to do this recording, which means we could probably get it out tonight, actually, if, with good time. A lot of interesting news over the last few weeks that we've kind of missed. We
Unintentionally.
unintentionally missed from the first recording that sound was recorded twice, and then yesterday's or Wednesday's recording, which for some reason we didn't pick up your audio, but that's okay. Stuff happens. Big news today: Mandalorian season 3 trailer dropped. Actually,
Oh yeah, I didn't.
yeah,
I didn't
it's.
see that. I'm like a whole season behind.
Oh, really?
Hey, we don't have Disney Plus. I gotta look into that.
Yeah. We have a Disney Plus for the kids, right? So that's the only reason. But here I can pull it up right here to YouTube. Where'd it go? Where'd the YouTube video go? Oh no. There we are. Yeah, number 3 here dropped, or Mandalorian season 3. Teasing trailer dropped. So I actually didn't watch them to begin with. I was like, yeah, no, I'm not sure if I want to watch it. And Buddy's like, just start watching it, okay? Just start watching it. I'm like, I don't know. And I ended up getting hooked on it. It was like my first 2 months that I was off of work or something like that, and I binge watched them in like 2 days or something because I had something to do. So gave me something to do while I was bored. But they're enjoyable. I don't really mind them. I'm looking forward to the next season. Um, Also, thing that happened today was the LEC had their finals for League of Legends.
Oh,
Yeah,
how's that going?
they I don't know how much you know about the teams, but Rogue 3-0'd G2, so they kind of they stomped them. It was a really quick series, good series. I was just amazed at the actual production value that the European LEC actually brings to their pro sports. Like, I'm not a big. I don't watch it as much as I used to. I don't watch every single game that comes up, but
Mm-hmm.
this one was actually really enjoyable, and I really enjoyed their production value on it. They did a very good job.
Nice.
Yeah, but I mean that was like kind of just weekend news, right? Ottawa Comic Con happened this
Comic
weekend.
Con, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I've seen a lot of stuff, seen a lot of pictures. I didn't go. I think we should probably set it up so that we definitely go next year.
I think you're right.
Um, I have been to a couple of like the smaller cons that we have here in Ottawa, and they always do really good. And I mean, there's a certain level that you expect when you say Comic Con, right? Like, it's a different tier than some of these other ones.
Yeah, a couple of our friends went. They really enjoyed it. I actually got them to pick me up a couple reproduction movie posters.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I've been wanting to decorate our downstairs room with them. So I picked up like Empire Strikes Back, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Harry Potter, and Princess Bride.
Mm-hmm.
So put those up on the wall. I was surprised that they actually had them. There was like not a convention pricing. Someone had them with like 4 for $75 or something like that. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, I mean they're generally around $30, at least what I've found. But so $15 each isn't bad at all.
Oh, did you go through the guest list this year?
No, I didn't get a chance to go through it. Were there some interesting guests?
Well, George St. Pierre from
Seriously?
UFC
Damn, I should have gone.
was there. Dave Foley from from a plethora of things.
Yeah.
Um, a bunch of there's a Netflix show called Lock and Key, and there's an actor and an actress from that are there. Denise Crosby from Star Trek: The Next Generation. She played Lieutenant Yar in the first season.
Oh yeah.
One of the guys from The Princess Bride, uh, Harry Elwes. He played the guy that what the heck? He was also Robin in Robin Hood with the Men in Tights.
Oh, he played the the prince or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a Doctor Who guy that's there. One of the new actresses from Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, and she also did Halo Nightfall and some Doctor Who stuff. Who's this guy? James Marsters. He did Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel. And then there's a pile of other actors that I don't recognize, voice actors and other actors. Rob Paulson is there. I've heard his name before. I didn't realize like he did some Animaniacs and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Pinky and the Brain. Um, One of the guys. You remember Xena, Warrior Princess?
Yeah.
You remember the guy, the kind of weirdo guy that was kind of off. He's there too. Ted Raimi
Yeah, yeah, I
is
know.
his name. And then a pile of comic creators and anime creators and manga creators and a whole pile of other stuff. Trying to see if I recognize any of the other names.
Nice. Yeah, there's quite the lineup there this year.
Hmm.
Yeah, most people we know went down on Saturday. I was thinking about
Yeah.
going down today, but obviously I didn't bother. But
Oh, Lou Ferrigno was supposed to be there.
oh, was he?
Yeah, he didn't. He was postponed though, so he didn't. He didn't end up going.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, quite. So I wonder if they're gonna make it any bigger next year, like, cause that's quite a lineup.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, from what I've heard, it was a really good time and a lot of turnout, a lot of booths. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, that happened this weekend as well. It was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But yeah, next year. Next year we'll set it up and figure out. Maybe we can make
Yeah.
a day out of it. Just a busy weekend. That being said, cover some of the news topics that we had brought up in our last recording for episode 10. I think the fun ones, at least that I think are interesting. We talked a little bit about the Mid-Journey AI
Hmm.
winning a competition against the sorry, what was it again? It was the Colorado State Fair Fine Arts Competition that the gentleman entered with a AI drawing, and ended up winning. Now, after we talked about this, I went in and I went through and I actually played around with the with Midjourney a bit before it said, "Too bad your your trial has ended." Because I think I went through about 30 or 40 changes on one before it said that. But it's very interesting to see what it ends up coming up with and how it works. So for anybody that hasn't heard of it, Midjourney is a Discord channel. It's an AI bot that allows you to input certain prompts and comes back with 4 images that the AI draws within, say, 60 seconds. Depending on how complicated you make your prompts and how much information you give the bot, changes how you end up drawing with the or how the AI ends up drawing it. Obviously, this brings up a few issues for the art competition because
well, how much work did he actually put into it, right?
Yeah, and if you're looking at the PC Gamer article, he actually states that he put in 80 plus hours of work editing the photo after it came out from the AI generator, and then on top of that, modifying it within the AI generator. So it's kind of interesting to see that we're kind of at that point where AI is doing a good enough job that you can't spot the difference between the between someone who's actually drawn it and the AI drawing, or the AI drawing.
Yeah, I mean the image itself is really it's really cool. It's really good art. I just I wish he would have provided a maybe a version before he started editing to see how much work he actually put into it.
Yeah, I mean, it would be interesting to see that portion of it. And he goes on, like, he didn't break any rules. It never said, our competition never said that it had to be drawn by you or that AI couldn't have been used to draw it.
But I expect you'll start to see those rules coming in down the road.
Yeah, it's going to generate some pretty interesting things. And it kind of brings into play, or it brings in quite an interesting topic of, you have this AI drawing, but who owns that drawing at that time? Like, because you put the prompts in and you put the prompts in, but does that mean that you own the rights to that photo, or does Midjourney own the rights to that photo?
Yeah, I mean the picture that we saw there of the actual artwork had like a little price tag on it, because I expect that it's in sort of like a gallery format, and it looks like they were looking to charge 750 there, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
So if somebody wanted to buy it, well, now they're putting money on it. Well, who owns that image? Does Midjourney own it? Does the individual who worked on it own it? Is it edited enough to say that he now owns it? Like, it's kind of like music, right? The original songwriter will write the song and then sell that song to an artist to sing. They get paid for that work, and then that artist sings it. But then you have 20, 30 other people who sing that song themselves in their own way, and that it becomes their song, right? Like, then they can then make money off of that, put themselves up on Spotify and whatnot. So it's interesting to see how this is going to work for the AI art world, I guess.
Well, after you use it initially, you get your trial period. There's actually subscriptions required to continue to use the software. So it's $10 a month, and then like $600, I think, for the year. So you can have unlimited images and use it as you see fit, unlimitedly. So, I mean, I wonder if at that point, while you're putting your money into the software, that image that it generates back to you is going to be your property, right? Your intellectual property, because it's your ideas in the prompt. that are going through. It's just the AI is drawing the photo, right?
Mm-hmm.
This AI has come up with some pretty interesting photos, and it would be interesting to see based on the prompts where they are, right? Like for each one of the ones here in their community showcase, they actually show what the prompts were, and it shows, you know, the more prompts you put in it, the more detail you're going to get back out of it. So this guy, maybe, you know, he put in he's said in the article that he's a like a story writer. So he probably did quite a in-depth prompt to get back what he put into it, right? So what the AI put into it. So the more detail and that he put into it, I think is what he's saying is part of his time is right. Because it is, just because the AI drew it doesn't mean that it didn't come from his imagination on what he was looking at to get out of the image. Because I think this is a new way for people.
Did it though?
Yeah.
Because you provide a word, right? So if I say Marshall to you, you have a different idea of what that means than me potentially. So when we give that to the AI, how does the AI interpret that word? And then we get the AI to refine what its defining moment of that word, right? So I don't know. I don't, and then eventually we just get to a point where I guess, as the quote unquote artist, we like it enough where it matches closely enough to what our vision is that we accept that. I don't necessarily know if I would suggest that it is the artist's original vision.
Well, I think it comes down to how much effort you're putting into your prompts, right? So when you do your imagine and your prompt, if you're giving a definitive picture and you're not just writing, I think what I ended up trying was, I was writing cathedral, angels, sun, dark feel, like, or something like that, like 4 prompts that you're putting in. If that is your only prompts, and then you're getting back whatever feedback, and then trying to revise the image based on those only 4 prompts, it's a different vibe to what you're doing. But if you're writing a full story on what is happening within the prompts, like these ones include 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, minimum 7 prompts that they're putting into it, right? I can't see how many more because it doesn't show in the community gallery. But if you're putting in so much, such a description, and you're looking for something specific, it doesn't come out with something specific to what you're writing the first time, you're going to refine what your prompts were to begin with, take out certain words, put in certain words, right? So that you can get what you're hoping to get out of it, is my thought. So it becomes like a new type of art form. It becomes an art form of literary with computer-backed imaging. So, which is, I think, an interesting product that has come out from this competition win that they put in for. A big thing is like the ethics of it, right? The ethics isn't in the technology; it's in the people. This isn't going to start. Art is dead, dude. It's over. AI won. Humans lost. I don't know if that's true in my mind. I don't know if art is dead because you specifically told AI what you wanted to do, refined what AI did, and then made it, kind of better than what the AI came out with.
Yeah, I don't. It's hard to tell, right? Because there's so many. Art is such a subjective thing. So sure, maybe art will be changing into this new realm, but is it dead? Probably not.
No, I don't think it's dead either. I think it's just one of those one-offs where it just came out that's what they enjoyed the most out of all of it.
Mm-hmm.
But
And I think
sorry?
we said when we tried this before, it's less about we thought it was less about um, art being changed so much as being more now accessible to people who might not be that great with graphic design and stuff. So you can have more people accessing artwork or creating artwork.
Yeah, and I think this. I mean, I don't think you're going to end up getting a job in doing art for a video game company or art for um, anything else if your main source for that art is a bot, right? Like they're not going to be like, okay, well, can you know how to use Midjourney? Do you know how to input enough words to bring out some art for Overwatch 3? Because we don't want you to draw it all. We just want you to put the inputs into Midjourney and go that route. Like, you're still going to, like, it's not going to kill artists. It's not, like, someone would find out, right? When you showed up to work at Blizzard and they're like, oh, all your images come from Midjourney, eh? Interesting. And then you put them into the gaming engine.
So I was talking to an artist friend, and they said that there are now accounts on Fiverr who are very specifically using Midjourney, or I think there's another one called Art Bender or Art Brinder or something. They are now using these AI artists to do the logos or graphic design and stuff like that for them to be paid for it. Like they actually state in their Fiverr profile that they are using Midjourney to create this art and stuff like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's that becomes quite an ethical conversation. Like, I guess you're paying for Midjourney, so if you're paying for Midjourney and then you're creating art from it,
Is Midjourney a tool? Like, is it the equivalent to Photoshop? Right? You pay for Photoshop, and then you photo edit all your photos or whatever you want. You can do anything with that, right? You can literally start with one little picture and then make it a giant thing. You can completely change the what's going on in the picture from just a little bit of Photoshop. So
that's
I
kind of
don't know.
crazy.
Interesting.
Like, oh, okay, let's open up a Fiverr shop. Be like, yeah, what image do you want? And well, yeah, we'll put it together. Oh, you don't like that one? I'm gonna refine it 14 more times with 18 different prompts and see what ends up coming up and see if you like that one. I mean,
Hmm.
yeah, that is, yeah, it's kind of interesting. It is definitely kind of interesting to see where it'll take the art world.
Yeah.
Um, Speaking of another form of artwork, or another art form, streaming and Twitch. It looks like I know it's a little bit more older article, about 10 days that Pokemon is done. Pokimane, sorry, I always do that. Done
Well,
with the Twitch ride.
she's done with the grind, so I think it's less about her just leaving the platform. I think she's just going to stream to more social media sources, more TikTok, more Instagram type stuff. Um, but it doesn't say that she's actually just quitting Twitch. She's just gonna pull back from it as much. I mean, you look at Ninja just came back too from 30 days away. He completely stopped everything for a month, and he just returned what? Yes, 2 days ago. So they are all looking at a broader platform for themselves to do all this in.
I think that's something with streaming in general. Like, for me, I know that when was streaming for on and off for times, I always felt it, like there's just it's really hard to play the same game day in and day out, log into Twitch, you know, like get everything going. And when you're doing it for your job and you're doing it for, you know, 50,000 people on a daily basis, burnout becomes a real thing, right? Like, you see burnout in other jobs with teachers and, you know, doctors and military, all that kind of stuff. And
Yep.
with these streamers that are now more popular being like, yeah, I need to step back, it's because, you know, that burnout is starting to be real.
A lot of them are working crazy hours too. Like they'll sit there and stream for 8 to 12 to 16 hours a day. and they won't take breaks. Like I know individuals like Sacriel, he takes 2 days off a week, and he's currently on a trip to back to the UK for a few days. He just got back from his honeymoon a couple of weeks ago, so he's taking that time to have a break. And he absolutely, if he's under the weather, he'll take a day off. Whereas a lot of streamers realize that if they're not streaming, they're not getting subs. So they don't like taking that time off, time away, because they can't afford to lose the subs.
Well, it's interesting, right? Because as per Twitch's internal records, only 0.015% of its streamers make a livable wage on the platform. And you think about people that are not making livable wage, they're streaming to like 10 people, 20 people, and they're doing it
Yeah,
12 hours a day. It would, that's an even rougher grind to have going. And I mean, you need to branch out. I think that's one of the biggest things that more of the streamers that have a higher following say is like, if you're getting into streaming, you need to branch out as it is. And I think branching out will give you that break that you need too, right? Like if you're doing a TikTok video or a YouTube video in not just streaming to 10 people, you increase your base, right? You make it
yeah.
more viable for you if you can become popular on more than just one streaming platform.
I think too, because I see I've actually started following quite a few people on Twitch recently who I've first spotted on TikTok. Because they're either doing a few TikToks or they do a live stream on TikTok. There's a couple of musicians now that I follow on Twitch because I found them on TikTok. They would do these lives and they're playing music at various venues, or one of them is or usually at home or whatever. Sometimes out at a venue. And I think the TikTok is a great advertisement platform for themselves to get them people to go to their Twitch and whatnot.
Yeah, and I think like people that aren't streaming to that many people need to realize that I need to find ways to branch, like to get people to come to my Twitch, and and that's definitely one of the best ways for them to do them. Definitely best way. It yeah. I think that's the hardest part is like once you're started, but once you're going and you're now streaming to 1,000 people a day or 2,000 people a day, like at that point you've put all this energy into getting to that point. Now you're kind of like on the backward slide now, trying to keep motivated, trying to keep that burnout away. So seeing bigger streamers take breaks I think is not really a surprise. I don't think like there was going to become a point in time where they needed to, right?
Yeah.
So good for her that she's found a different way to express her, self moving forward. And I mean, people grow, people, want to show a different side or don't want to just play video games forever. So definitely a way to move forward with her, with the career.
Yeah, for sure.
Now to a interesting, different type of art story. Ukrainian studio defiant against criticism of its offer to personalize artillery that will be fired at Russians.
Well, I mean, I think we agree that it's sort of a long-standing tradition that messages get written on artillery pieces as they're fired at the enemy. But whether it's ethically appropriate to discuss those messages or pre-plan those messages or to sell or I don't know, raffle off space for the messages, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a Ukrainian studio, Sherlock Holmes: The Awakened. So apparently, it's a game that's in development until the invasion started. So for part of their Kickstarter, they decided to throw a pledge on there for a raffle to win the ability to put a message on a bomb that would head towards the Russian troops. Yeah, it is something, right? Like the Americans did it in World War II quite a bit. You saw it with you saw the nuclear weapons having weapons or drawings on them as well. So I'm not surprised. And again, this comes into Kickstarter saying, "Hey, look, we're just a platform for them to share their ideas with. We're stepping out of this one. Not going to cancel them for it."
Yeah, it's not our job to promote or not to promote. It is what it is, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I agree or disagree with it, but it is an interesting way to a get money for your Kickstarter. But it does say Kickstarter prohibits projects from raising funds towards a charity or cause. It
Mm-hmm.
also prohibits projects under the subject matter of weapons, replicas, or of weapons and weapon accessories. So Sherlock Holmes' game is neither a weapon nor a cause, so running a promotion adjacent to its Kickstarter campaign skirts these rules. Kickstarter confirmed to me via email that the promotion does not violate its rules. I guess we know where Kickstarter
Well,
stands on it.
I think the issue is that it's not providing the payee artillery, right? Like that obviously would not fly. All they're saying is that they're going to take a message from the person who's posted that money to them on an artillery round. So they're not really getting anything out of it.
Yeah, yeah, it does. It perfectly goes fine with their rules. It's
Yeah.
interesting to see though that it garnered this much attention from people, but I mean we've seen quite a few weird Kickstarter campaigns, so I'm not in the least surprised.
Yeah.
Um, video cards. Interesting enough to say that people say the 4080 leak is bigger than the 3090. Well, to me in the picture it looks like it's about the same size. Um,
I wonder if it's not the length that's changed. I wonder if it's the width. And this is the only picture that they had.
you know what? You might be right on that. It might actually be the width that came up and not the length itself. Maybe the length is the same. I mean, I know the cards are quite a bit different in size than, or quite a bit bigger in size than before. I was really surprised when I bought my 6900 XT to see that size, that the size difference, because even against the 3070, I found that it was quite a bit bigger before. I'll bring up a picture here. I do have a picture of this. Can't remember where I saved it to, but I will bring it up in a second. There it is. Copy this picture here. Boop. And... oh no, I can't open it. See if I can open it up in a different here real quick. I just. But yeah, I mean, even the 6900 XT versus the 3070 was about an inch longer in the end, and a little bit wider. So I'm wondering if that's what they're talking about, the case size. Like, and trying to get mine into my case, the 6900 XT, I actually had to remove some of the stuff out of the front of the case so that it could slide in properly.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised that people are saying that, you know, we're gonna need bigger cases. We're gonna need, I can log into this and
So there's a plethora of pictures out there now. If you Google 4080 dimensions and all that kind of stuff, there's a pile of pictures that come up. And in this particular picture that I'm looking at, the card looks like the 4080 from the article that's in the bag, but it does actually look like you know where you slide the card into the back plate.
yep.
Well, it looks like there's actually three tabs now, so it looks like it's going to actually take up 3 slots on the back of your case.
Okay, that could be it then.
So I think that's what it is that it's getting fatter is what's going on. The card's putting on some weight.
Oh, I mean the 3090 is big enough to begin with. Like Christ.
Yeah, but it's still too it's only going to take up 2 of those slots on the back of your PC. And
Okay.
from what I'm seeing, like it's just a hint of a third one coming over top of the part that actually plugs into the motherboard
Right.
in this particular image. So I have a feeling that that's what they're talking about.
Okay. Okay. That sounds about right. I mean,
Can
I have this one image open as showing that the 4090 is going to be 450 watts. So a little bit more watt. Well, that's roughly the same wattage out of the two of them. So I'm not sure why someone's saying they're going to be higher wattage. We're going to need bigger
PSUs, yeah.
PSUs as well. So I'm sure.
So I just sent you the image that I was just looking at, and you can
Oh,
see how it's got those 3 prongs at the top that would kind of fit into those card slots at the back of the
okay. Yeah. Yeah.
the case, and you just see the hint of that third one. So that would be a huge change. That's a huge size difference when you think about it. Bringing in a whole nother slot on the back of your PC that now has to be dedicated to your video card.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's taking up your case space. But even if this one's really small, but I think it has the same idea. You've got that. You see how wide the card is. I mean, it's really hard to see, but if I can zoom in a little bit, really not a great image. But if that's the width that you're looking at, 3 card slots, that is definitely going to take up quite a bit more space inside your box. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, like I said, I already had enough troubles getting mine into my case. If they're going to be starting to bring them out a little bit even wider, I mean, that's how they've got to make the cards more, I guess, more viable, more so they can put on more memory and.
Well, you can only shrink stuff down so much, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like at a certain point, it can't get smaller.
Oh, and then there's a 4080 Ti is 71% faster. Can you imagine you just bought a 3090 and you're like, yeah, by the way, 4080 is coming out in a year, so it's going to be
It's gonna kick your card's ass.
It's going to kick your 3090's ass by quite a bit, and it's going to cost the same amount.
Right? That's the real kick in the pants right there.
Right?
The fact that it's gonna cost the same.
Oh, that would suck. Be like, oh, I spent $2,600 on this 3090 at the height of the card, and now this 4090 is coming out. It's 110% faster. Same price, actually, because cards have gone down in value. It's going to be $1,000 less. But be interesting to see. But yeah, I think you're right. I think it's just going to be a fatter card. It's not going to be any longer. There's not much more they can do, I think, at that point. So, and then obviously once AMD brings out their next gen 7000 series or whatever they're doing, it'll be interesting to see what how much bigger their cards are too, and whether or not they made some strides on closing the gap between AMD and Nvidia.
Yeah, we kind of mentioned that the card prices have gone down a lot, and I'm really surprised. I'm just kind of taking a look at it right now. At our local store that we usually go to, a 3080 Ti, an Asus 3080 Ti, $1149.
Oh wow, they really have dropped then. They're
I
back
mean,
to
it's
what
on.
they should have been.
It's on sale, 120 off right now. But still, I mean, there's another one here, a Zotac one for 1,000. So I mean, the card cost, you can get 3080s for under 1,000 now.
Well, that's good. That's
Yep.
about time. Like, I mean, cards. I think that's all because we're seeing the decrease in price in Bitcoin and yeah. So that's the biggest reason I think we're seeing that drop is people can no longer mine with them and low hash rates and all that fun stuff. So it's good to see the price back to somewhere that's actually normal. be interested to see what happens when the 4000 series is released and what happens with the prices then.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe I'll save up and splurge and get the next gen Nvidia. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, at this point, I don't know. I don't know about switching to AMD. I don't know. I think we had this discussion when the last time when I built my PC there a few months ago. I don't know if I can go back to AMD anymore.
I think the AMD has come a long way. I mean, I have no problems with my 6900 XT. It runs fine. I mean, I run everything at 4K with 100 plus frames a second.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not playing anything really that graphically intense, mind you. Like a little bit of Battlefield 2042 and a little bit of WoW, that kind of stuff. Just something to keep me busy. So I would be hesitant to upgrade on the next gen just because of that. If I was playing something that I was really worried about it being like 4K and over 140 frames per second, maybe then I would. But until they
Yeah.
actually come out with real charts and real stuff, I'm hesitant to change. I am definitely hesitant to Division. They've got a new Division game coming out that they've kind of leaked on the store, and they didn't really want to let people know. I think they did it by accident, but it's
It
Division.
seems that way.
Yeah, it seems like that. A lot of the stuff got pulled right off the bat after it came out. Someone put it on their store, and then they were like, "No, we don't want people to do it." But the Division Heartland is another going to be another
Extraction looter shooter. Yeah.
extraction looter shooter. So basically, their initial PvP that they had, but adding in PvE as well. So basically, their Dark Zone, or what was that? What it was called?
Well, the contaminated zone anyway.
Contaminated Zone is now becoming a full game.
Yeah.
Pretty,
Well, only it's going to be. It looks like they're going to another setting again. I mean, we had the original divisions, which were in I don't know, Washington, I think. And then the next one that they had was like New York kind of a thing. And now this one, I think Heartland seems to be more of a mid US type of thing. If I mean, I don't know for sure, but
oh, here's the little trailer for. It looks like it's suburbia, woods. Oh, this is like terrible quality here. Some developer talking about how we got the best game ever. Yeah, it just looks like it's a suburbia forest EVEBVP.
yeah, PvP VE, player versus environment.
And you have to extract like you did in